Now that I just finished unboxing the Dream Machine Pro, is it really worth getting? I'm gonna have to say
it's the biggest piece of dog shit.
And here's why. What's up guys, welcome back to Tech Logic Lounge. So I finally pulled the trigger and went ahead and got myself a Unifi Dream Machine Pro. And in this video, we're gonna go ahead and check out the specifications on the thing. We're gonna go ahead and do an actual unboxing on it. We're gonna go ahead and get the initial configuration set up for it. And I'm gonna go ahead and connect the device to it just to see how it all works out. And then I'm gonna give you my thoughts and impressions, even though you guys didn't ask for it, to help you decide whether or not you guys wanna pick up one of these things. Make sure you guys like and subscribe and drop a comment down below letting me know if you guys already have one of these things or if you're thinking about getting one. So the Unifi Dream Machine Pro is one of Ubiquiti's top tier routers aimed at small businesses and tech enthusiasts who don't have any friends and just mess with computers all day. And unfortunately, I don't own a business, so I guess you could assume I'm part of that second group. Anyways, so the Unifi Dream Machine Pro isn't just a router. Obviously, it does its routing. It also does switching. It actually also has a VPN gateway, a firewall, an IDS/IPS, so an intrusion detection and prevention system, and it's even a stock trader on its free time. Anyways, the Dream Machine Pro ain't one of those cheap ass routers with 5,000 antennas hanging off of it that you've probably seen in your grandma's house. This thing is an actual rack mounted device that actually fits in a server rack, and it takes up 1 U and is about half the depth of an actual server rack as well. And this thing packs a punch for the price. It comes out to about $379, and it includes a 1.7 gigahertz ARM Cortex A57 processor. It's got 16 gigabytes of flash storage and an expandable storage slot for a 3.5-inch hard disk drive, which is perfect for network video recording or additional backup. It's rated for 3.5 gigabits per second routing with IDS and IPS features enabled. It has one 10 gigabit Ethernet port. It's got two 10 gigabit SFP ports, and it also has 8 1 gig ports that are all able to be used for your additional switches, your additional access points, and any other thing that you might want to connect to this thing. Now it is actually 1 U, it's rack mounted design, so you actually do insert it into a server rack. I guess you could technically throw it wherever you wanted to. You could actually put it on a wall if you didn't have one. And it also comes with a 1.3 touchscreen. And the Dream Machine Pro isn't just a router, it's a complete networks and security solution. And this thing has a whole bunch of different security functions. It's obviously an IDS and IPS, it's a VPN gateway, and it even supports VLANs as well, not only on the physical ports, but also from additional access points that you decide to attach to it. And those access points can have up to 4 different SSID or Wi-Fi networks on them, all of which can be segmented so that you can keep your IoT devices on their own thing, you can have your home lab on something else, and you can have whatever else you want all segmented so that they're not talking to each other, especially for those things that might be a little bit more vulnerable than the others. Another cool thing about this is the fact that you can actually download an app on your phone and it'll help you set up the entire router, and it'll allow you to manage the different devices that connect to your home network. So if you have your daughter who's playing Roblox and you don't want them on there, you can click a button and they lose internet access. You can also get many different warnings, like if your ISP drops, and the router itself actually supports having 2 different ISP connections, so you can actually have up to 2 different ISP connections, and if one drops, it'll give you a warning and it'll actually fail over to the other ISP so that you don't actually get disconnected from the internet. And another cool thing about the Dream Machine Pro is that when you pick up one of these different devices, you're actually joining the Unifi ecosystem. And the thing has a whole bunch of different things. It's just like Apple. They have their own access points, wireless access points. They've got many different switches, security systems, cameras, you name it, they probably have it. And another cool thing is you can actually get different attachments for your Unifi Dream Machine. One of which is the fact that you can actually get a cellular antenna. So let's say your main ISP connection drops, whether it's AT&T, Cox, whatever it is, that drops, it can actually fail over to a cellular antenna, which will provide you with internet access. Now, obviously, that's going to be at an additional charge. I'm not exactly sure what the features are. I'll probably throw them up on the screen somewhere, but that is another feature. And of course, that's something you have to pay additional for. If I remember correctly, it was about 179 bucks. And all these different expansions are going to cost you more, specifically just the access points alone, which I'll kind of talk about a little bit more. But just to get an actual access point for this router is going to cost you about 199 bucks or something like that as well. But anyways, let's go ahead and actually finally get into the unboxing of this thing. This thing has been sitting in my corner for about 2 months now. I bought it back on Black Friday of 2023, and I wanted to make a video for you guys, but I didn't have the time because the 9-to-5 job was just keeping me super damn busy. But anyways, we're finally getting into it. We're going to go ahead and unbox this thing. But before we go ahead and get into the unboxing, I'm going to go ahead and announce the Orange Pie giveaway. That is SamKit S. This guy over here was the one that actually won the Orange Pie giveaway. So go ahead and slide in my DM, SamKit S, and let me know where I can get this thing sent over to. I appreciate your support. And for those losers that are watching, don't worry. I'm going to go ahead and do another giveaway. I'm going to be doing a Raspberry Pi 5 giveaway once I hit 500 subs. And definitely make sure you're hitting those subs because I ain't making no money on YouTube, okay? I'm just doing it for the gram. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into the unboxing. All right, so we got the front of the box here. Pretty generic, nothing too crazy. We we got the Ubiquiti Dream Machine Pro on the sides here. Same on that side. On the top here, you got the Unifi logo. And if you flip it over, you've got some specs on the back. Let's go ahead and get it cut open. Open this up here. It actually gives you a QR code right there to actually download the app and to get answers. Might be some hardware here. Check it out in a second. Alright, next get this thing out of the sheeting. Alright, first look at it. Yeah, got the 8 1 gig ports, got the 10 gig Ethernet port, and 2 10 gig SSD ports here. We've also got the 3.5 5-inch hard disk drive bay, which you just push it in and it'll come right open. Got the actual hard drive bay there. And then we actually got that 1.3-inch touchscreen there. On this side, we got the holes for the bunny ears so you can actually mount it. Appears to be the same on this side as well. And we got the back here. USB connect port and our power port. And this thing's pretty great. It looks like an official router or switch that you would see in a server rack at a commercial residence. Got our power cable. Looks like a user manual here. All of our hardware. That's nice. I like how they did that. That's nice. And we got our bunny ears, so we can actually mount these things. And let's see what this is. Looks like some stickers for their Unifi Protect cameras. I don't know if we'll actually use these for anything, but they are pretty cool looking. But that's it. Now we can actually go ahead and get this thing, get the bunny ears thrown on there and then actually get it thrown into the rack. Alright, so we got the bunny ears on there. It should fit perfectly in the actual rack now. But first we need to go ahead and actually put these rack mount screws on the rack so that when we go ahead and slide the router in, it'll actually be able to screw right in with these ones here. Alright, so now that we got this thing booting up, I'm going to go ahead and connect one end into my WAN port, which is going to go over to my ISP router. Eventually this will go directly fiber over to AT&T. However, I don't have this as the edge device just yet. I'm going to go through all the configuration. And then I'm going to have one port plugged into the LAN, which is actually going to connect back to my switch. So we should be good to start configuring this thing. Alright, this might look kind of blurry, but now that the router is actually booted up, it's telling you that you can download an app, because there's two different ways to configure this. You can actually just go ahead and plug into the thing and receive an IP from it via DHCP and connect to it via the IP that it received from the WAN router you're connecting to, or you can actually download an app and connect to it via Bluetooth, and the LCD or the LED screen is going to show that. And it also actually quickly shows the IP address that is assigned from the WAN router that you're connected to. I'm not exactly sure how to get it to show back up. I was shifting through these and I wasn't actually able to do that. but I actually was able to grab the IP beforehand. Now we have a bonus. We're actually going to go ahead and unbox one of these long-range Unifi access points as well. We got long range there. That Unifi Wi-Fi 6. Long range again. The backing here. Get all that plastic off. Hopefully that didn't blow out your guys' eardrums with that. My bad. Like this slides off. Wow, this thing is packaged really nicely. So we have our main access point here. Looks like that's potentially where the power cable is going to plug in at right there. Then we got Unifi 6 there. Then we have our actual mounting bracket template here. And this will help you actually level it out here as well when you actually attach it to the wall or ceiling. And then we have the actual bracket. Looks like it's two different pieces here. And the instructions actually come on the plate there. Pretty cool. And we've got some more hardware there. Even comes with some wall anchors as well. That's pretty nice. And startup guide. And this is PoE powered. With this, since the Ubiquiti Pro does not come with PoE ports, power over Ethernet ports, I did have to get a TreadNet PoE injector. But anyways, let's go ahead and get this connected to the router as well. Alright, so now that we've got the router installed in the rack and it's powered up and receiving an IP from my WAN router, let's go ahead and actually download the Unifi app so that we can actually start the initial configuration with it. It's cool because you're actually able to start the initial configuration with Bluetooth from your phone. So let's do that. Alright, so I've got my phone here and we're going to go ahead and pull up the Unifi app and go ahead and I'm using Google Play, but you might be using Apple, whatever it is that you're using. And once it's finished installing, we'll go ahead and open it up. We'll agree, because if you don't, you ain't going to be using the app. And from here, we're going to actually have to sign into the Unifi app that we created, probably when you order the device. I'm going to do that. Don't hack me. Alright, so now that we're logged in, we need to actually go ahead and enable our Bluetooth. Alright, so now that we've enabled Bluetooth, we need to actually go ahead and provide for the app to access our Wi-Fi. So I'll go ahead and enable that real quick while using the app. Allow. And look at that, we can already see the Dream Machine Pro because it's actually connected to the same network that my phone is connected to via wireless, except for it's just using an Ethernet cable straight to the router. So we'll go ahead and tap to set up. I'm just going to go ahead and try to connect via Bluetooth. Obviously, you don't want to be too far away from your router. And let's go ahead and name it. And I'm just going to name it Lab Dream Pro. And you can name it whatever you want, of course. Then we'll do next. And right now it's testing our upload and download speeds from our WAN drop. And I'm glad that's getting a pretty decent reading because I do pay for 1 gig, so it's good to see I'm getting pretty much damn near close to it. So we'll go ahead and do next. And right now it's going through and actually going to set up the Unifi OS. So this is going to take about 7 minutes, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip ahead. You won't even have to wait that long. Alright, so now that the Dream Machine has done its initial setup, we're at the actual dashboard, and it's pretty cool. You can see what the WAN IP of the Dream Machine is. So the IP it's assigned. Essentially, if you're connected to your actual ISP, you're going to see the IP that the ISP is providing you. However, this is just connected. This is just the network between the Dream Machine and my actual AT&T router. You also have your gateway IP, which is going to be the IP that the actual LAN network below this router is going to be connected to. So any switches or devices that I decide to connect to this thing will be able to use that IP as its gateway to reach the Dream Machine. You can also actually see some information about your ISP, and you can actually see some upload and download speeds as well as your actual latency as well. We can also see that we don't have any access points, but we will go ahead and configure one here in a few. Other than that, let's go to the next tab here. So we can see the Unifi devices that we might have connected. Currently, we just have the Dream Machine Pro. We don't have anything else. However, if you did have access points or cameras or whatever it may be, they would also show up here. You would have your clients, which would be different devices that are connected to it, whether it be via wireless or wired. And then you can also see statistics, as well as Wi-Fi. You can set a VPN, security, routing, and many other things. But anyways, let's close that. We can run the speed test from here as well. So this will test your upload and your download speed. And then you can even see your topology as well, which is really cool. I love how they do this. You don't even need your own network diagram. Of course, I do have my own, but this will actually create one for you, and it'll create an actual network tree. So if I have a switch under here, it'll show an icon of a switch. It'll show access points, and then it'll even show the devices that are connected to it as well. Alright, so now that we actually took a look at the app and we got the UDM Pro up and running with an initial configuration, I want to go ahead and throw this bad boy on the network as well, get an access point connected to it. And I need to do that by providing it with some sort of power. Since this thing's only powered by PoE, power over Ethernet, it needs a power source. And unfortunately, the UDM Pro doesn't actually have PoE ports. If you want PoE ports, you need to either get a Ubiquiti Switch Pro, if I remember correctly, that has the PoE ports on it, or you can go with the UDM Pro Special Edition, and all of its ports come with PoE. But since I'm a cheap bastard and I didn't want to spend $500 for this thing, I went ahead and just got myself a PoE injector, a ThreadNet injector that you can get off of Amazon. I think it was like 30 bucks. So what you do is take your Ethernet cable that's coming from the UDM Pro, and you'll plug it into the data port here. And then you'll go ahead and plug another cable into this port, and this port will actually go over to the Wi-Fi access point, which will then power the access point and also provide you with the data connectivity that you need. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. And now I'm going to go ahead and take the cable that's coming from the UDM Pro switch port and plug it into the data port here. So there, data. And now I'm going to take another cable and I'm going to go ahead and plug it into the PoE data port, and then plug this end into the actual access point. And to actually get to the access point here, you have to actually remove this little rubber cover. And that'll actually expose the RJ45 port there for you. So then we'll plug that in. And now we're actually getting a light there, so you can see it's powering up. So now that it's powering up, let's actually go ahead and look at the app again and see if we can pull it in and actually adopt the device so that the router will start controlling it. All right, so I'm gonna open up that Unifi app again. And I'm going to go ahead and check out the Dream Machine Pro. Taking a second to load. Okay. Alright, so as soon as we open the app, actually, it discovered the device without us even having to do anything. So we'll go ahead and do it. Yeah, that all looks good for now. So I'll leave the IP address like that. And yeah, I guess that's it. So now it looks like it's pending adoption. It's probably still going through initial configuration at this point. Then we'll go back. Let's see if we can actually see this thing, and we'll click adopt to ensure that we're actually adopting it, even though I thought we were already. Yep, and it looks like now it's doing it since we've got the Wi-Fi experience updating. All right, so it looks like it's updating the access point right now, so we'll go ahead and wait for that to finish. All right, so the access point has been updated, and now we can actually see it in the app within our topology. So if you click on topology, you can actually see that it's connected via port 1 on the access point and port 2 on the actual Dream Machine Pro. So that's cool. As you add devices, it'll start adding them to the topology as well. And when you actually add the endpoints like your laptop, your phones, you'll see those pop up as well. But let's go ahead and add a basic Wi-Fi network real quick. It's pretty simple. You can just do add new Wi-Fi network, and we'll do add new. And I'll just name this test, and then just give it a quick password. And then from here, I will switch to manual because there's a lot of different settings in here. You can obviously configure the different bands that you want to use, a lot of other things as well, but the main thing I'm looking for is security, and I just want to make sure that this is at least set as WPA2, which a lot of devices may not support right now and you might have issues with, so you just want to keep that in mind. So I suggest just leaving it at WPA2, and that all looks good there, so I'll press save, add Wi-Fi network. And it should be good to go now. If I actually scroll down, I should see test pop up. There it is right there, test. And I can connect to it if I want to. But that's just a quick way that you can set up a basic Wi-Fi network. There's many other details you can set up with this and the UDM Pro itself, but I'm not going to cover that in this video. Alright, so we unboxed the Unifi Dream Machine Pro. We went ahead and set up an access point and got the initial configuration set up for it as well. But the main question a lot of you guys are probably wondering is, should you actually purchase this thing and spend your money on it? Is it worth it? It's going to depend, but if you had to ask me and you're not someone who's super tech savvy and isn't going to do very much with it, other than maybe setting up maybe 1 or 2 SSIDs, wireless networks on it, maybe do VPN and just wanted basic security, I'd probably say no. You can just go ahead and get the regular Dream Machine that they have for $299 instead of spending $399 on this. And that's an actual home looking router. It doesn't need to be mounted in a rack like this one does. This one's kind of bulky, especially if you don't have a rack and you don't have a lot of space and don't want an ugly looking router just sitting on your wall somewhere. I would say you can just pick up the Dream Machine. It also supports IDS and IPS. It supports multiple SSIDs and even does OpenVPN client VPN support and also IPsec site-to-site VPN as well. So if you wanted that basic security and also wanted your own VPN, you can still get all of that with the Dream Machine standard, which is only $299. But if you really want to pick it up, I would say just wait until Black Friday. I actually picked up mine for $279, which is technically cheaper than the Dream Machine, and I didn't spend any additional money. But the only thing about it is the fact that you'll still have to get an access point, which is another downside to it. Most of the access points are going to range from 150 up to 200, maybe 250 bucks, and that's a steep amount, especially after you just spent $279 on a lucky day if you get it for Black Friday. You're going to be spending upwards of $500 just to get the same thing that you can get with the Unifi, just regular Dream Machine. But that's just my opinion on it. Of course, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, and it's going to be up to you, and it's going to depend on what you want to get. I am a tech nerd, and I know a lot of people that are probably watching are tech nerds, so I say if you've got the money and the time and you've got a place to actually install it, go for it. It's got a lot of different use cases and a lot of features that I haven't even gotten to scratch the surface on. If you want me to go ahead and make additional videos about some of the other features that it has, or if you're just interested in something in particular, drop it in the comments down below and let me know what you think about the Dream Machine Pro. Are you going to pick it up? Do you have one? If you do, what kind of setup do you have? I appreciate you guys for watching the video. I appreciate your support. Anyways, you guys take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.